Okay, we are live. I hope you can hear me well. We are here speaking from Madrid, the day before, the evening before our super big DSD Residency. It's a special one. It's a big one. It's the first one in Madrid with me as a resident. I just moved with family 1 week ago. And I'm going to show later on the venue and everything that we're organizing. It's really a super huge production in terms of effects and structure and logistics, and it's going to be amazing. But as I was walking into the venue today to go through the final arrangements, I meet the first DSD Residency participant. Dear friend. That is an honor for me to have him and to host him here. Kostas Valavanis, Dr Kostas Valavanis from Athens. We're going to chat a little bit about a very important topic that I want to highlight about what are the main characteristics of being a top dentist, a successful dentist. What are the 5 main characteristics of a successful dentist? We're going to go over these topics. But going back to the residency, we have 100 participants from 24 countries. As I just posted, DSD Residency became really a dental UN, the United Nations of Dentistry. We have average from 20 to 30 countries on every course that we organize. It's unbelievable. All 5 continents represented. People from all over, and of course we couldn't miss Greece. I don't believe we have any other Greek participant on this course, but of course it's first.
We do have a friend of mine.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 Greek participants from the 100 participants and 24 countries represented. Kostas, just say hello to the community.
Hello guys. It's really my honor and my pleasure to be here with my dear friend Christian. We know each other for a long time, and it's actually a great pleasure for me, and I'm so proud of seeing an old friend being the pioneer in what we call the digital era nowadays. And for sure, I would come and be an attendee instead of a speaker in your event. So
people that I admire coming to my course, it really, to our course, it really means a lot. We cheer for that. It's not a Greek white wine, but it's a good Spanish white wine. So let me get into the topic. I want to explain the topic, and then I want to hear Kostas as a great successful clinician. He is an example of a professional that incorporates these 5 characteristics. So what are for me the 5 characteristics to succeed as a dentist? Okay, the 5 main characteristics to succeed as a dentist. Number 1, charisma. By traveling all over the world, I can say that charisma is definitely a shortcut. It's not a must. It's not the only thing. Maybe it's not the most important, but
make things easier.
Charisma, and when I say charisma, I combine charisma, communication, marketing, personal marketing, persuasion, storytelling, body language, understanding human behavior, everything that is related to creating a nice impact on the person in front of you, right? So that's number 1, charisma and communication skills. Number 2, skill of a successful dentist, or number 2, characteristic to succeed as a dentist, understanding diagnostics and treatment planning, having experience enough to diagnose and treatment plan well. As everybody knows, this is a big passion of mine. I learned that from my father. Comprehensive, holistic, interdisciplinary diagnostics and treatment planning. I'm a big fan of dentists like my brother Marcelo Calamita and people like John Kors, Frank Spear, and Peter Dawson. So treatment planning and diagnostic skills, I think it's number 2 here characteristic to succeed as a dentist, right? Number three characteristic, clinical skills, hand skills, the ability to do things well with your own hands. This is probably one of the most important and the toughest one to teach, but definitely one of the most important ones for a clinician. Right? If you're a researcher, you don't need that. If you're a teacher, you don't need that. But if you are a clinician,
you're absolutely right. And they don't examine us before we went in school for that.
yes.
Nobody knows. I mean, we're good students, but nobody knows if we're good with our hands.
And I can say that you're right. We don't examine people, or we don't have tests to test how good people are with their own hands executing things. And we know how important this is for dentistry. That's probably one of the biggest differentiations as a clinician. To say he's a great clinician means he has great skills. Maybe he's not a great treatment planner, but he's a great clinician.
Yeah.
Two completely different things. I always say being a great clinician is different than being a great treatment planner, and vice versa.
What's the most difficult, by the way, for you?
I believe that the most difficult one to teach is clinical skills, because either you have the gift of hand skill. It's very difficult to teach somebody that doesn't have hand skill, to teach them how to have hand skill. So having great clinical hand skills is maybe the most difficult one, but for any reason, we lack much more in dentistry today treatment planning skills.
Yeah, but you help a lot with your digital software in that.
So digital smile design, or DSD, and the DSD Planning Center service, the DSD Planning Center support, digital smile design workflows help people to be better treatment planners.
Yes.
But if you're not a good clinician, you cannot execute the plan. So maybe if you have in your team, you're the great treatment planner and you have a great clinician, perfect team, right? Perfect team. So the most difficult to teach, hand skill, but the most needed skill in the market, planning skill.
Absolutely.
So we have more great clinicians out there than we have great treatment planners. And treatment planning you can teach, so there's no reason why we should have this discrepancy. And we need more people like DSD Concept supporting, the COIS Center, Spear Education. They
I
teach
agree, but
planning.
how many people in the past would get the chance to see or learn from COIS treatment plan?
Yes.
Right now, with what you have done,
We're democratizing that. We're spreading.
Exactly.
And we're very proud of that, and hopefully through the DSD movement, we are kind of helping people to plan better. Now, this is skill number 3. Okay, so let's recap. Charisma communication is 1, diagnostic and treatment planning skills is 2, clinical hand skill is 3, and 4th for me is artistic and smile design talent. It's not a skill, it's a talent. And this is also something very difficult to teach, because for many years I was teaching people how to sculpt teeth. I was teaching morphology. I had wax-up courses. And I could see on day 1, if I had 10 students, I could see that 1 student or 2 students were already very good. And that was great. So I was giving them some extra tips, but they were good. 1 or 2 or 3 extra ones were not good, but had the skills, and that was beautiful, because you could teach them and they would learn. But usually 5 or 6 out of 10 were not good and didn't have the skill. And even if I was like 1 year teaching them, it was very difficult to make them good. So talent, the
X
artistic.
factor that not everyone has.
And this is something that I believe that when you get into dental school, if your dream is to become a clinician, and artistic skill and hand skill, because these are 2 different things as well. having hand skill and having artistic skill are different as well. That's why I'm putting.
I'll tell you a short story since we're here. I'm so happy to be here with you. You know, the story is that we go in kindergartens, we both have young children. It's full of fantasy and art. Then with time, in school, they try to kill that and make us learn math.
Yes.
So no wonder that we need to reinvent
Unfortunately,
our fantasy and our
conventional. You're 100%. You nailed it. My mother's a teacher, and my mother is an art teacher. And I was in a very artistic school my whole life. And my mother used to say, and I strongly believe in that unfortunately the conventional educational system kills creativity. So we are born with creativity. We are born with the art inside us. Maybe some a little bit more, some a little less, but everybody has that creativity. And unfortunately, as you hit 7 years old, and people try to fit you into a certain system to learn specific rational things, and nothing wrong about learning rational things, but the way they teach us, they kill our artistic side. So that's why it's so rare, right? To have real artistic people and to have people with hand skills and etc. Eye, hand coordination, and all these things.
Yes.
You know, so these are the four talents that I'm writing here that need to be combined to be a great and successful dentist. And I'm saying that marketing and communication, what we call DSD brought to dentistry as the emotional dentistry concept, right? That involves everything to create value towards the patient in front of you. We call it emotional dentistry or marketing and communication, whatever. This is very teachable. This is very teachable, right? So what is my point here? From all these four characteristics, the most teachable is marketing, communication, and persuasion. And that's why I was telling you that many times I feel a little guilty because sometimes we teach
to the wrong.
We teach people how to sell dentistry without understanding if that person has the skills to deliver.
Well, then, my dear friend, comes the fifth virtue.
So this is what I want to explain, because I was telling Kostas about these four things, and he read this article that I'm putting together that is going to be out soon about the skills to be a successful dentist. And I was showing him the four skills, and he immediately read it and said, "This is very cool." And he added the fifth, that he killed it because the fifth is above all the others. So, what do you think is the fifth skill of a successful dentist?
It's character. And when I say character, I mean
Ethics.
Ethics. Ethics in our profession starts
From Greek? Ethos.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It's a Greek word like many other words we use, but it starts with another African word, which is self-criticism. So
Humbleness.
Yes. Always, you need to be humble.
You need to be good. Ethics is about being a good person.
Yes, not
Character.
and not like nowadays, just good to yourself. Think about the other people. So when you teach them marketing, then you teach people how to explain to patients what's important for them, what they need. If they have the proper character, they will definitely pursue.
You kill it. You kill it.
Pursue.
Because
To
you can,
learn how to do it properly.
because if we recap the four that I mentioned, you can have a great charisma and great communication skills and lack character. We see that happening, right? We see that happening in politics, for example. Great charisma, great communication, great persuasion, and character and
Actually,
ethics.
if we have the four and not the fifth, they should go on and be politicians.
Yes,
which are
not
good,
dentists.
Not dentists.
That's good. That's good. You can have be a great treatment planner and not have character, and for example, create a plan that is financially good for you, not necessarily the best for the patient. You can have
Or if I may, you lead the treatment plan to your knowledge and not to what's necessary for the patient.
You push towards what is more comfortable to you.
Yes.
You know, you can have great clinical skills. We have, I know, amazing clinicians that are not necessarily great character in terms of personality, right? That you feel like, I don't know about that, and it's very, and you can be very artistic and also lack ethics and character. So you're totally right. So the number one characteristic to be a great dentist is character and ethics. The second main one, I would say, great diagnostics and treatment plan skills. Right? The third would be great clinical eye-hand coordination skills, clinical hand skills. The fourth, great artistic smile design skills. And the fifth should be marketing. Actually, marketing, communication, and persuasion should be only allowed to be used if you have already the other four.
And Christian, I mean, you're a sixth generation dentist and I'm a third generation dentist. We see daily that many patients are loyal to the dentist, even though he's not the most popular or the most skillful, because of his character and ethics. And families go to the same dental family, not necessarily for the skills, because it's a sentimental thing, because the dentist, you never change. Orthopedics, you do your knee, you're gone. Dentist is for life.
It's a partnership for life.
So, character, like you said, this is why I love you, because you have the proper one.
You too. I'm not a clinician, so I cannot represent these 5 skills, but I have a perfect example of a professional that I can say brings these 5 skills
you did
together.
You did a lot, and since I get the opportunity, I have to say, man, you did a lot for dentistry. Many dentists don't realize what you've actually done for them, but really high-end dentistry, I'm a little bit upset with you, because really high-end dentistry was, in the last 10 years, not everybody's privilege, and you gave it. With all this what you've done, you gave it to more people, and it's not a privilege, a small amount of people privilege to be exposed in higher dentistry. So I'm sure more and more people realize what you have done for dentistry, that I definitely do, and I'm proud of you.
And I'm proud of having you here, because not many of my old friends in high-end dentistry were able to come and see what we are doing today. You know, most of the people from my first era in dentistry, when I was working with some of the best dentists in the world, we see that
Christian, they all know. Maybe they don't show, but they all know who you are, what you do.
Perfect. Thank you. So I hope you guys enjoy this formula, the 5 topics to succeed as a dentist. And actually, I'm inviting now Kostas to write with me this article. We by the way, Kostas is the one who co-developed with me the double crown lengthening guide, the guide, the digital perio guide that is digitally planned to guide crown lengthening surgeries with the double information to allow clinicians to precisely perform the gum part of the surgery and the bone part of the surgery with the biological, with everything in one guide. Was developed by both of us together around 4 years ago in Amsterdam, when we were working with Miguel Stanley at Thomas Retry office in Amsterdam. And after Miguel was about to perform a crown lengthening surgery, and we had the guides there, we had the digital plan there. By talking to each other, we created that guide with like 5 minutes, and the guide that went viral actually today. absolutely, we see all over the social media, all over lectures. People, unfortunately, usually don't refer to us.
Yeah, we're used to that, right?
But you know, the concept is published, and but we are coming with a real official publication this year about the double crown lengthening guide. The beauty of this concept is the simplicity of it, right? People look at it and say, "But this is so simple." That's the beauty, you know. Like I think
really have to be
was Da Vinci said that the highest level of sophistication, simplicity is the highest level of sophistication. So I'm very proud of that guide that we developed because everybody's using because it's so simple.
It is. It is simple, but at the same time meticulous.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do the job even if you don't go.
So since he's a low-profile guy, people don't know his face that much. So when I mentioned in my lectures the double crown lengthening guide developed in partnership with Kostas Valavanis, this is it. This is the guy. Okay. So I hope you enjoy the chat. You're gonna be seeing this blog, this article out in our social medias, and very soon, in a few minutes, we're gonna go to the venue and show you how the preparation is going. Hope you enjoy.